Canada just flipped the entire automotive game on its head. Mark Carney flew to Beijing, shook hands with Xi Jinping, and signed a deal that's about to flood Canadian streets with Chinese EVs at prices that will make traditional dealers lose their minds. I'm not exaggerating. While American car buyers are still getting destroyed by dealer markups and insane interest rates, Canadians are about to shop 1,000 horsepower electric sedans for Honda Civic money. I'm talking tech so advanced it makes a Tesla look like a flip phone, luxury so insane it embarrasses a Mercedes, and prices that will literally make you question reality. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 Chinese EVs that are about to absolutely dominate the Canadian market under this new trade deal. These are supercar specs wrapped in family car bodies. And car number 3, when you see what Canadians will pay for it versus what Americans can't even buy, you're gonna be genuinely furious. Let's talk about the invasion. Kicking us off at number 5 is the Zeekr 7X. Now, you might think this is just another electric SUV, but you haven't seen what Canada's getting under this deal. This isn't just a car import. This is a strategic weapon disguised as family transportation. There's a performance version pushing 636 horsepower. It does 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. That is faster than a Porsche Cayenne Turbo. That is faster than a BMW X5M. That is faster than anything sitting in Canadian dealerships right now. But here's the part that makes traditional automakers sweat at board meetings. Under Carney's deal with China, Canada committed to allowing 49,000 Chinese EVs annually at just 6.1% tariff. 6.1%. Meanwhile, Americans are paying full price plus dealer markup plus market adjustment fees. The base Zeekr 7X in China costs around 34,000 USD equivalent. Even with shipping and the tiny tariff, Canadians could be looking at sub 45K pricing for a vehicle that competes with 70K luxury SUVs. For that price in traditional dealerships, you get a base Toyota Highlander with cloth seats and an infotainment system that looks like it was designed in 2012. I'm already offended, and we haven't even talked about what this thing looks like. Look at this face. It doesn't look like a boring crossover egg. It looks like a Range Rover Sport got merged with something from the future and came out angry. You've got these sharp vertical LED daytime running lights. They call them the energy blades. They don't just turn on, they animate, they pulse. They perform a light sequence when you unlock the car that makes your neighbor's Lexus look embarrassed. And notice the front fascia. It's completely clean. No fake grills pretending to cool an engine that doesn't exist. Just smooth, purposeful aerodynamics with active air curtains at the bottom that open when the battery needs cooling. It looks expensive. It feels premium. If you pulled up to a valet in this, they'd assume you paid 6 figures. Moving to the side, this is what designers call athletic proportions done right. It has that muscular stance that makes SUVs look capable instead of bloated. The roofline slopes aggressively toward the rear, giving it that coupe SUV aesthetic without sacrificing actual headroom. Check the wheels. 20-inch multi-spoke alloys come standard on upper trims. In Canada, wheels like this are usually a $2,500 upgrade on premium vehicles. Here, they're included. But the real party trick, the frameless doors. Bro, these are frameless automatic doors on an SUV. You don't pull a handle like a peasant, you press a button or just approach with the key fob and the door electronically pops open for you. You sit down, press the brake, and it closes itself with a solid thunk that sounds like a bank vault ceiling. Meanwhile, I'm over here manually slamming doors like it's 1995. It feels illegal for a sub 50K vehicle to have technology borrowed from 6-figure luxury cars. The rear is clean and modern. That light bar stretches across the entire width, connecting both taillights in one continuous illuminated strip. And it's not just static, it has animated patterns. Plus, if you get the Performance AWD model, you get a subtle integrated spoiler that actually generates downforce at highway speeds. It makes a Mazda CX-5 look like, well, it makes it look like basic transportation. This looks like a statement. Under the floor, this thing is packing either a 75 or 100 kilowatt-hour battery. The dual-motor AWD version pumps out 636 horsepower. Let me repeat that number, 636. But the horsepower isn't even the wildest specification, it's the charging architecture. This car runs on 800-volt technology. That means you can charge from 10% to 80% in roughly 15 minutes on a compatible fast charger. 15 minutes? Bro, I spend more time waiting in line at Tim Hortons than this car needs to add 400 kilometers of range. Traditional EVs in Canada have people planning their entire day around 45-minute charging sessions. This thing treats charging like a bathroom break. Safety-wise, it's a fortress. It's built with reinforced battery protection, multiple airbags, and a full sensor suite. It has LiDAR mounted in the roof for advanced driver assistance. That sensor can map the road ahead in real time and react to hazards faster than any human possibly could. It practically refuses for you to have an accident. Okay, get inside. This is where I officially start questioning what traditional automakers have been doing with our money. The entire cabin is covered in premium synthetic leather and soft touch materials. There is no cheap hard plastic anywhere you'd actually touch. You've got a massive 15.05-inch OLED center screen, and it's not fixed in place. It can rotate. You can flip it between portrait and landscape mode depending on what you're using. It's powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8295 chip that is genuinely more powerful than most people's laptops. This is a supercomputer that happens to have wheels. Look up. The panoramic glass roof isn't just for aesthetics, it's electrochromic smart glass. You press a button and it electronically tints to block the sun. No manual shade required. No fumbling with fabric panels. Just instant tinting. The sound system features premium speakers throughout the cabin. It doesn't just play music, it creates an acoustic experience. Every seat gets clear, balanced audio. Speaking of seats, heated and ventilated in the front, massage functions available, even rear passengers get climate vents and USB-C charging ports. I'm not joking. This interior feels more luxurious than German SUVs costing twice the price. It makes you genuinely wonder where all the money goes when you buy from traditional brands. And because it's an SUV, it's actually practical. You can fold the rear seats completely flat and create a massive cargo area. The trunk is enormous. You could pack a family camping trip back here, plus grocery runs, plus sports equipment, and still have room left over. So let's talk about the number that changes everything. In China, the Zeekr 7X starts around 34,000 USD equivalent. Even accounting for shipping, import duties under the new 6.1% tariff rate, and dealer margins, Canadians could be looking at 45 to 48K Canadian pricing. That's insane value. If traditional automakers tried to sell this vehicle through their networks, they'd charge 70K minimum and people would pay it. And that's exactly why legacy brands are terrified of this deal. So be honest with me, would you buy a Chinese EV at this price point over a traditional brand, or are you too loyal to switch? Let me know in the comments. But wait, car number 5 is impressive, but car number 4? Car number 4 does something I've legitimately never seen before. I'm serious. The next vehicle on this list literally has almost no rear window and replaces it with cameras streaming to interior displays. You need to see this to believe it.
Coming in at number 4 is the Avatr 12. And yes, it's pronounced Avatr 12, but the name isn't the controversial part. Look at the back of this car. Look carefully. Tell me what's missing. There is barely any rear window. I'm not saying it's small. I'm not saying it's tinted dark. I'm saying they minimized traditional glass and replaced rear visibility with a high-definition camera system. They basically deleted the conventional rear window. In 2026, apparently looking backward with your actual eyes is outdated technology. Instead, you have ultra-high-definition cameras streaming everything to a crystal-clear digital rear-view display inside the cabin. It feels like you're piloting something military-grade. It feels like you're driving technology from 2035. This thing looks like it drove straight out of a sci-fi film and parked in downtown Toronto. Let's talk about the face. The front of this car is hauntingly smooth and futuristic. There are no traditional headlights, just these thin, aggressive LED strips that function as daytime running lights. The actual main beams are integrated lower in the bumper assembly. But the coolest feature? The interactive display panel. Right there below the windshield, there's a customizable LED matrix screen that can display messages, animations, even emojis to pedestrians. Bro, if my car started waving at people crossing the street or showing heart symbols at intersections, I think I'd lose my mind. But here in 2026, it's just standard equipment. Move to the side profile. It's impossibly sleek and aerodynamic. The door handles are flush-mounted and pop out electronically. The side mirrors are gone, replaced by slim camera stocks that reduce wind noise and drag. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about looking like you time-traveled here from the future. And those wheels? Massive 21-inch designs that look like turbine blades. The car sits low, wide, and menacing. Now, the rear. This is the bold design choice. Without traditional glass, the back looks like a spaceship's sealed compartment. There's an active spoiler that deploys at speed and a camera housing that extends slightly like a periscope. It looks incredibly cool, I'll admit that, but imagine explaining this to your insurance company after an accident. Sorry, I didn't see the other vehicle. My camera had condensation on the lens. Under the hood, or rather under the floor, this thing is backed by Huawei's advanced electric platform. It's running a dual-motor AWD setup pushing 578 horsepower. It hits 0 to 100 in approximately 3.9 seconds. It's not the absolute fastest on this list, which is crazy to say about a sub-4-second vehicle, but it's more than quick enough to absolutely terrify your passengers. The range is competitive too, around 700 kilometers on the CLTC cycle, which translates to real-world range that'll get you between Canadian cities without anxiety. But the interior, oh man, the interior is where the no rear window design actually makes sense. Open the door and just look at this dashboard. It has a 35.4-inch ultra-wide 4K panoramic screen stretching across the entire width of the cabin. It's not just a display, it's a digital command center. It shows your speed, navigation, blind spot camera feeds, and entertainment all in one seamless curved interface. Then there's a floating secondary touchscreen for climate and vehicle settings. The seats are what they call zero-gravity ergonomic seats. You press a button and the seat reclines into a NASA-approved sleeping position with your legs slightly elevated. It's more comfortable than most people's actual beds. And look up at the glass roof. It doesn't use a manual sunshade, it's electrochromic smart glass. You tap a button and the entire roof darkens instantly to block heat and glare. It's like having automatic sunglasses for your car. The safety tech is where Huawei really shows off. It runs on the ADS 2.0 autonomous driving system. This car doesn't just follow GPS maps blindly, it actively scans and interprets the road in real time using LiDAR and AI processing. It can navigate construction zones, avoid pedestrians, and handle complex urban traffic without you touching the steering wheel. It's basically artificial intelligence with 4 wheels and a giant battery pack. The price for this technological showcase in China starts around 41,000 USD equivalent. Under Canada's new trade deal, even with the 6.1% tariff, you're looking at potentially sub 50K Canadian pricing. A base Tesla Model 3 costs about that in Canada. This feels like you're getting future technology for present-day pricing. So, would you drive a car with almost no rear window and camera-based visibility? Or is that too futuristic for your comfort level? Drop your answer. But hold on. Avatr is impressive tech, but car number 3 has over 1,000 horsepower. It's one of the most aerodynamic production cars ever built, and it has a suspension system that can literally make the car jump on command. Prepare yourself, because the next one is absolutely unhinged. Number 3, the YangWang U8. This isn't a car, this is a military-grade luxury tank that happens to be street legal. We're talking about a vehicle that can drive through water deep enough to flood the cabin, a vehicle that can spin 360 degrees in place, a vehicle with 1,100 plus horsepower that can literally jump over obstacles. And Canadians are about to be able to buy this under the new China trade agreement. Just look at the sheer presence of this beast. It's massive, over 5.3 meters long. It's wider than most trucks. It sits tall and aggressive, like it's daring something to challenge it. The front fascia has these enormous LED headlight clusters that look like they want to consume everything in their path. It's intimidating, it's imposing. If you see this charging up behind you on the highway, you move over immediately. Moving to the side, you realize this isn't just big, it's purpose-built. It has that classic luxury SUV silhouette, but with modern, aggressive lines. massive wheel arches housing enormous tires, chrome accents that actually look tasteful instead of cheap, running boards that deploy electronically when you open the doors. But check out those functional side vents. Those aren't fake stick-on decorations. They're real aerodynamic channels designed to manage airflow around this massive vehicle. But the real engineering insanity isn't how it looks, it's what it can do. The U8 sits on BYD's D-X hydraulic suspension. Most luxury SUVs have air suspension. This has 4 independent hydraulic actuators with millisecond response time at each wheel. That means this 3-ton luxury SUV can lift individual wheels, adjust ride height on the fly, and yes, it can make the entire vehicle jump off the ground like a mechanical kangaroo. I'm not exaggerating, it can hop. Imagine pulling up to valet parking and making your SUV literally bounce to show off. It's the ultimate flex. And because each wheel is controlled independently with insane precision, it has absurd capability. It can do a full tank turn, spinning 360 degrees in place. It can ford water over a meter deep because it can seal the cabin and use the motors as propellers. If a tire blows at highway speed, the computer instantly redistributes power to the other 3 wheels, adjusting torque 1,000 times a second to keep the vehicle stable and controllable. You could lose a tire and still drive to safety. Inside, it's a combination of a luxury yacht and a mobile command center. You have premium leather everywhere, real wood trim, and a dashboard that's essentially a wall of high-resolution displays. There's a digital instrument cluster for the driver, a massive central touchscreen for controls and navigation, and additional screens for passengers so everyone stays entertained. And unlike most performance SUVs where the back seat is an afterthought, this is built for VIP rear passengers. Massive legroom, reclining seats with heating, cooling, and massage functions, individual climate controls, and even a small refrigerator for beverages. This isn't just an SUV, it's a mobile luxury lounge. Now, the price in China, this absolute beast starts around 150,000 USD equivalent. I know that sounds expensive, but think about the context. A Range Rover with similar luxury appointments costs over 200,000 Canadian.
A Mercedes G-Wagon starts above $180,000. This vehicle matches their luxury, exceeds their capability with the hydraulic suspension and amphibious features, and costs significantly less. Even with import costs under the new trade agreement, Canadians could potentially access this for $175 to $190K Canadian. That's value that makes traditional luxury SUV manufacturers genuinely nervous. So I need to ask, is 1,100 horsepower and the ability to drive through deep water too much capability? Or is it exactly what a luxury SUV should offer? Let me know. But hold on, YangWang is extreme capability, but car number two costs less but does something I've never witnessed in my entire automotive career. It can literally shake itself clean like a wet dog. And you can balance a tower of champagne glasses on the hood while driving over speed bumps without spilling a single drop. Number 2 is the Nio ET9, and I need you to understand what I'm about to describe. Imagine a luxury sedan that can vibrate its entire body to shake off snow, dirt, or water like a golden retriever after a bath. This isn't a concept, this is production technology arriving in Canada under the new trade deal. This is the Skyride Intelligent Chassis System, and it is legitimately the most advanced suspension technology ever installed in a production vehicle available to consumers. Here's how it works. Each wheel has its own independent hydraulic actuator that can adjust height, stiffness, and damping in under 1 millisecond. That's faster than a human can blink. Nio literally demonstrated this by stacking a 4-level tower of champagne glasses on the hood and driving over speed bumps at normal speed without spilling a single drop. Meanwhile, most luxury sedans with air suspensions still transmit enough vibration that you spill your coffee on rough pavement. This isn't just suspension engineering, this is physics-defying technology that keeps the cabin perfectly level no matter what chaos is happening beneath the tires. Rolls-Royce, are you watching this? Because I think you just got technologically outclassed by a Chinese startup. Visually, this thing is what I'd call elegantly massive. It's over 5.3 meters long, longer than a BMW 7 Series. It has these distinctive split-level LED daytime running lights that make it look like it's constantly evaluating whether you're worthy of its presence. And check the roofline. See those 3 subtle sensor housings integrated smoothly into the design? That's the watchtower LiDAR and camera array for autonomous driving. It's seamlessly incorporated. It doesn't look like aftermarket equipment bolted on. It looks like it belongs there, like the sensor suite on a private jet. But the detail that genuinely impressed me, the wheel center caps. They're self-leveling, exactly like a Rolls-Royce Phantom. The Nio logo always stays perfectly upright while you're driving, no matter how fast the wheels spin. It's a small touch, but it screams attention to detail and elegance. Under the skin, this car runs on a 900-volt electrical architecture. For context, most EVs globally are 400 volts. Really advanced ones are 800 volts. This is 900. That allows it to charge at a peak rate of 600 kilowatts. Let me translate that into real-world Canadian terms. You can add 250 kilometers of range in 5 minutes of charging. 5 minutes! Bruh, it takes longer than that to pay for gas and grab a coffee at a Petro-Canada. You plug this in, walk inside, use the restroom, and by the time you're back, you've got enough charge to drive for hours. It packs around 700 horsepower, which is more than sufficient to merge confidently onto any highway or absolutely destroy anyone who challenges you at a stoplight. But here's the feature that genuinely concerns some people: steer-by-wire. There is no physical mechanical connection between the steering wheel and the front tires. None. Zero. It's entirely electronic signal-based. It's like piloting a high-end racing simulator, except the stakes are very, very real. But because of this digital connection, the steering is incredibly precise and adaptive. You can turn the wheel slightly and execute a full U-turn because the steering ratio adjusts dynamically based on your speed. Plus, it has rear wheel steering that can turn up to 8 degrees. This 5.3-meter luxury yacht has a tighter turning radius than a Honda Civic. You can maneuver this thing in underground parking like it's a compact hatchback. Inside, they don't call it a cabin, they call it the executive suite. This is a strict 4-seater layout with individual VIP accommodations. The center console runs the entire length from dashboard to rear seats. The rear seats are where the true luxury experience happens. You get a folding tray table that swivels 360 degrees so you can work, dine, or simply look important. The seats recline to 45 degrees. That's almost lying flat. And get this, there's a 10-liter electronically cooled refrigerator. It maintains your beverages at perfect temperature while you glide over rough pavement without feeling a single vibration. You don't drive this car to run errands. You drive this to close business deals and sign contracts worth millions. So how much does the snow-shaking, ultra-fast charging luxury yacht cost? In China, it starts around 112,000 USD equivalent. Under Canada's new 6.1% tariff deal with China, even accounting for shipping and import costs, Canadians could potentially access this for 135 to 145 Canadian. Now, I know that sounds expensive, but let's put this in perspective. A Mercedes Maybach S-Class starts above 220,000 Canadian. A BMW i7 with comparable luxury starts around 180,000 Canadian. This car has demonstrably better suspension technology than both of them, charges exponentially faster, and can perform that self-cleaning vibration dance. That's actually incredible value in the ultra-luxury segment. So I have to ask, would you trust a car with no mechanical steering connection, full steer-by-wire technology? Yes or no? Drop your honest answer. And here we are. Number 1, the BYD YangWang U9. If the other cars on this list were impressive, this is the absolute emperor. This is the final boss. This is a vehicle that isn't trying to compete with Porsche or Ferrari, it's trying to make them irrelevant. It's a hypercar, a legitimate production hypercar from China, and Canadians might actually be able to buy one under this new trade agreement. Just look at the sheer aggressive presence of this machine. It's low, it's wide, it's impossibly dramatic. The front end is all sharp angles and massive air intakes. The LED headlights look like they want to slice through the darkness. This doesn't look like transportation. This looks like a weapon designed to destroy lap records. The entire body is crafted from carbon fiber to minimize weight. Every surface, every vent, every angle is designed for aerodynamics and cooling. This is functional aggression at its absolute peak.
Moving to the side, you see the classic mid-engine supercar proportions: short front overhang, long rear deck, massive side intakes feeding air to cool the batteries and motors. The doors open upward in dramatic scissor door fashion, and those wheels, absolutely massive, lightweight forged alloys wrapped in performance tires that cost more than most people's monthly car payments. Now, the rear. Oh man, the rear. It has an active aerodynamic system with a massive deployable wing that adjusts angle based on speed and cornering forces. There are diffusers, vents, and heat extraction channels everywhere. This looks like it belongs on a racetrack, not public roads. But here's the insane part. Under the body, this thing is running BYD's D-Sus X hydraulic suspension system we discussed earlier. But in the U9, it's tuned for something absolutely wild. This hypercar can jump, literally jump off the ground. All four wheels can leave the pavement simultaneously on command. Why? Because BYD can. Because the technology allows it. It's the ultimate engineering flex. The U9 is powered by 4 independent electric motors, one at each wheel, producing a combined 1100 plus horsepower. It hits 0 to 100 in under 2.4 seconds. That's faster than a Lamborghini Aventador. That's faster than a McLaren 720S. That's hypercar performance from a Chinese manufacturer that most people didn't take seriously 5 years ago. Inside, it's a mix of race car functionality and surprising luxury. Carbon fiber everywhere, racing seats with full harnesses, a digital display showing every performance metric imaginable. But unlike most hypercars, where comfort is sacrificed entirely, this actually has climate control, a decent sound system, and seats that won't destroy your back on a long drive. Now the price? In China, this absolute weapon starts around 168,000 USD equivalent. For a hypercar, a legitimate hypercar with over 1100 horsepower and the ability to jump on command. A Porsche 911 Turbo S costs more than that. A Ferrari Roma costs double. Even under Canada's import arrangement, if this vehicle becomes available, you're potentially looking at sub $250K Canadian pricing for genuine hypercar performance. That's value that breaks the traditional supercar market. So the final question, is this the hypercar that changes everything? Does a Chinese manufacturer producing a legitimate 1100 horsepower jumping hypercar prove that the automotive world has fundamentally shifted? Alright, that was the top 5 Chinese vehicles about to flood the Canadian market under Carney's new trade deal with China. I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm still processing the fact that Canada just opened the floodgates while America locked itself out. My brain is genuinely struggling to comprehend how rapidly the automotive landscape is changing. We just witnessed a sub 50K SUV with 636 horsepower, a sedan with almost no rear window, a luxury tank that can drive through rivers, a vehicle that shakes snow off itself, and a legitimate hypercar that can jump. Which one absolutely broke your brain the most? Drop your pick in the comments. Seriously, I genuinely want to know. If you're Canadian and suddenly have access to these vehicles at these prices, are you actually buying one or are you sticking with traditional brands? Let's debate this in the comments section. Smash that like button if this trade deal news shocked you even once. It genuinely helps the algorithm understand we want more content covering this massive automotive shift. Hit subscribe so you don't miss future coverage as these vehicles actually arrive in Canada, and ring that notification bell because the next video is covering how American dealers are responding to being completely locked out of this market while Canadians get access to technology they can't even order. I'm still processing all of this. I genuinely need a moment to absorb what just happened to the North American car market. I'm out. Peace.